Good morning, students. So, in M.V, as we were reading chapter number 6, Punctuality and Commitment. Okay, so it's one part we have done. In one part, we have read about George Washington. George Washington, who was the first president of United States of America, and he was always on time. He valued the time and his commitments also. George Washington didn't like those people who do not value of time. So George Washington had a secretary, and he was irresponsible. He was not punctual for time, or he was not committed towards his job. Okay, so today we will start our second part. My teacher smiled and said, "One watch can run late. Son, not all. Genuine reasons are always accepted as they have an air of honesty about them. But this was just an excuse." So when one day what happened when George Washington's secretary late, so he made an excuse. What excuse he made? He told to the George Washington, as his watch was running late, so he was late for his office. So it was not a reason, it was just an excuse. So his teacher smiled and said, "Mr. Pinto," okay, Mr. Pinto, who was the teacher of here of secretary. So my teacher smiled and said, मेरे टीचर ने स्माइल किया और कहा, "One watch can run late, son, not all. Genuine reasons are always accepted as they have an air of honesty." So if the reason is genuine, the person can accept that reason. But it was just an excuse. So George Washington was annoyed with his secretary, and he was rude with his secretary. Another thing to be remembered is that when we are late for our appointments, then people get time to think about our drawbacks and shortcomings. Do you want people to find your faults? So, if you are late for your appointments, so then the people get time to think about your drawbacks and shortcomings. You are valued that time in front of other person. So do you want people to find your faults? No, of course not. So then you must follow just one rule: be on time and don't let opportunities get out of your life. Then it gets your positiveness, and it makes your personalities good in front of someone else. It makes your positive impression in front of someone else. If you are on time or don't let opportunities get out in your life. If you have been giving opportunities. Okay, now Mr. Pinto was absolutely right. Mr. Pinto, who was the teacher of secretary, so Mr. Pinto was absolutely right. Time is very precious, and when it is wasted, it never comes back. So, students, for example, this time is very golden time for you, because you have a lots of time for your study. But if you wasted this time, so this time never will come back. So don't take in negative manner. So this time is pandemic time, we are not going to school, and so on. You just take this period in positive manner and utilize this time. Why? Because this time never comes back. So it depends on you, how do you spend your time. You just waste your time, or you just utilize your time. Okay, with every lost hour we actually lose an opportunity. Not only this, when we don't value time, we don't value our commitments. As a result, other people are also affected, and people don't trust us as far as punctuality is concerned. The entire chain is disturbed once and for all. So if you are not giving value of time, not giving value of your commitments, so as a result, what happened? It also affected to the other peoples. Other peoples don't trust on you. So you are punctual and you are committed towards your job. So other people think about you. You are not trustable also. So overall, you have lost your impression. You have lost your trust, and so on. And the entire chain will be disturbed. We can buy everything, but have you seen someone selling time? If you have money, then you can buy all the things, whatever in the world, but you cannot buy time, because it's very precious. No, never. No matter what we do or how much we can spend, but time is priceless. Okay, it doesn't make a matter how you are utilizing your time. Okay, how you are utilizing your time, but the time never stop for anyone. It's priceless. इसकी कोई कीमत नहीं है. Someone has correctly said there are certain things money can't buy. कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी हैं जो हम मनी से नहीं खरीद सकते. Do you know why? Being on time is the most important commitment we make to ourselves. So if you are committed towards your job, towards your time, it needs to be taught in the beginning. This is the reason the school gate closes for latecomers. So that's the reason. That's the reason the school gate always closes for latecomers. Why? Because they have no value of time. Because they have no value of time. And this is the lesson for those students who always late for their school. So as a punishment, the school gate closes for those latecomers, as they can learn about the value of time, as they can learn they have to be punctual and committed. Okay, now you will understand why your parents rush to be on time, why timetable are made, why the doctor reaches his clinic on time, why the bell rings in a school, why the coach tells you not to waste time, why the aircraft takes off and land on time. Imagine the confusion if any one of those mentioned here did not value of time. So if there will be no time for any work, so it can make a lots of confusion in our life. So we should always value of time, we should always value of time, we should always punctual and committed towards our work. Okay, so that was the story about punctuality and commitment. Once again, you will read this chapter